thing we're trying to do at Vision for Tomorrow is establish a family resources tab on our website. And that will be a place where families, parents can share and receive information about different experiences living with Aniridia and being part of the Aniridic community. So as a starting point, since I'm a board member for VFT and I have Aniridia, I'm here with my mom, Sally Chen, to talk about her experience as a mom and now a grandma of someone with living with someone with Aniridia. So, Mom, thanks for being here. And we're going to ask a few questions while knowing that your perspective is just one journey, everyone's story. Living with a rare condition like Aniridia is different. So, but thanks for speaking to us. And so, what was the initial stage like for you as a parent of a child with a rare eye condition? And what was it like to find an ophthalmologist who could give you some answers and was familiar with the condition?
Okay, thank you. Thanks for having me. First of all, I'd like to say that I don't have all the answers. Every child is different. I'm a retired teacher. I know that every child is different and every child with Aniridia is different. And so what I'm trying to do today with you is to just give our listeners just some tips that work for our family. And so that's all we have. We have our own experience. And so that's what I'm going to share. First of all, I guess I was considered an older mother. I had boys, your brothers were 8 and 11 when you were born. And when you came home, you were not diagnosed at birth. This was 1980. It came home with supposedly a healthy baby boy. And I knew right away that something wasn't right. I knew your eyes were different. I knew that they were dark. They didn't focus exactly right. And you had a white speck in the middle of your eye, one of your eyes. So at the 6 weeks checkup, my pediatrician, of course, when he put a light in your eyes, nothing happened. And he said, let me just preface this by saying that, in a tiny town of Tappahannock, I had to go to Richmond for everything, and that's about an hour away. So my Richmond pediatrician said, do not go home. I want you to see an ophthalmologist. Unfortunately, he did not know what Aniridia was. So I left his office believing that you had no sight whatsoever, and with an appointment for the next week. So I went home, and your grandfather was a doctor in Tappahannock who had passed away. And my husband said, your dad said, let's go to this practice that my dad sent everyone to in Richmond. They diagnosed you immediately, and off we went. A tiny little town with no resources at all, and I didn't know what to do. And my mother said, this is what you do. You find the best person, best hospital, best practice for what Grayson has, and that's where you start. So fortunately, we ended up at Johns Hopkins, which was wonderful at the time for all kinds of birth defects, and particularly Aniridia with Dr. Irene Malmany. And she took care of us, took care of you for 27 years. She's one of the top ophthalmologists in America. She is recognized all over the world. And her common sense, in addition to being a wonderful clinician, got me through it. I said, what am I going to do? I've got boys 8 and 11. Can we never go outside again? I was frantic. And she said, no, you get that baby a hat and some sunglasses and you take him everywhere. And there you were. Had your little snowsuit on in the winter at the soccer games and your little hat on in the summer at the baseball games. And I think it made a big difference in how you grew up. We were with her for a long time. In 1980, they did not know much about Aniridia. They knew a little bit about the PAX6 gene, and they did not know about the deletion, the Wagner syndrome, and therefore you had ultrasounds to look for Wilms tumor for about 12 years. And so we had that. And that's how we started. The questions in my mind were, what kind of school? what kind of college, will you live with us forever? What will life be like? Thank goodness you had brothers that gave you no slack whatsoever. We spent a lot of time in the local emergency room with you, with, lips that had been hit by a baseball and run into a tree. We don't know what happened, Mom. He was running and something happened and that's why he hit the tree. But you were tough, and that was probably a really good thing.